Okay, now it's time to introduce you a really good friend of mine. I have to tell you that when I met her a few months ago in a live training, she was on the stage, she was sharing her story, and we were like about 700 people listening to her, and we were all amazed about her story, about all the things she was sharing with us, because she's a really successful entrepreneur. Actually, I'm gonna tell you a little bit about her. Amanda is well known for her unconventional approach to building businesses, which fosters dramatic and consistent financial results for entrepreneurs in record time. She is the founder of the Wealth University, and that is an online school for entrepreneurs who wants to make money and make a difference. She is the creator also of the Genius Sell System, which empowers people to sell in their own unique way. She specializes in helping entrepreneurs to create consistent cash flow in their new and growing business, and believes that if you're not making money, you're not making an impact. Hi, Amanda Loveland, how are you?
I'm fantastic, Ricardo. Thank you for having me.
No, thank you for being here with us. And first of all, well, our first question for you is what makes this client or customer finding process unique, and why does it work?
Yeah, that's a good question. So when I first got started in my business, which was service-based, solely service-based at the time, I was going out and asking everybody, where do you find your clients? Where do you find your customers? Where can I find these people? And they were answering that question for me. They were like networking events or social media. They were giving me answers, and I was going to those places or doing those things, and I wasn't consistently signing clients there. I was struggling. I was spending a lot of time doing those things, and it became extremely frustrating because I was spending all this time not making any money. And I was sick of not making money. I kind of needed to make money in my business. So what makes this process unique is, the 5 questions that I created and that I'll be sharing today really provide a framework for anyone at any stage of business to identify where their unique client opportunities or customer opportunities exist. It's based on a person-by-person basis. For example, some people are introverted. They prefer to spend time alone. They don't like going out. Being in groups of people really exhausts them. And the questions are designed to help them find where they connect best with their clients or customers. Some people, like me, love people. Like I love going to conferences. I love big groups. And so they're also designed for people who are extroverted, who love to be out in the world, to help them identify where their people are hanging out. It's more of an intuitive process of identifying where you love to be so that you can begin to connect with your people in your own unique way. Rather than me saying, hey, go to a networking event, your client's going to be there, which we've all learned if we've gone to a networking event isn't true for most people. And the reason that it works is because the system works with universal law or God, the law, infinite source, whatever label you want to put on it. It works with universal law to help you engage with the natural process that helps you to attract opportunities and resources to you. So it works with these universal laws to actually help you sign clients really quickly, find customers really quickly, faster than you've ever found them before, because you're connected to a unique set of resources that nobody else is. You're connected to a unique set of people that nobody else is. How can we use those things instead of you trying to figure out how I use my things, right? So it works because it works with those universal laws and helps you to find your unique process and your unique group of people and where they are.
That's really interesting, because I think that one of the biggest fears of every entrepreneur or the new people that wants to be an entrepreneur is, where do I find clients? Or maybe I don't want to be I want to be an entrepreneur, but I'm afraid of don't having enough clients, and then I have to go back to the company where I was working before. I think that that's one of the biggest problems of every entrepreneur, finding clients. So,
how to start making money right away is super important. How are you going to pay your bills when you open your business? That's I mean, that's really, really important to help people do that. So that's what I'm all about.
And I think that most entrepreneurs are getting stuck because of that. They're stuck in this part. So what can each listener do to find their clients or customers? What can we do? Because I consider myself also an entrepreneur. So what can we all do to find more clients?
Absolutely. So I've designed 5 questions for people so that they can ask these questions every single Monday or the beginning of their work week. And by answering the questions and acting on them all week long, you will find consistent client or customer opportunities every single time. It never fails. So the first question is, what can I do to serve 10 people directly with something of great value? Now, this question is a key because the law of receiving states that in order to receive anything, you must first give. A huge mistake that entrepreneurs make is they want to sign a client, so they immediately go out in the world and they try to find that person and get them to a sales conversation and sign them up, or go out and sell their product from a table or whatever it is. It's a huge mistake to lead by sale. Huge mistake. If the law of receiving states that you have to give first, and I'm not saying you have to give your stuff away for free, what I'm saying is you have to set a foundation of serving people before you go out in the world and expect anything. So for everybody, this looks a little bit different. I love to serve people in a different way than you do, Ricardo, right? So you just write out different ways that you could serve people with what it is that you do in the world, the way that you love to help people. And you first start by serving people. By opening up, it's kind of like a bubble. I love to think of it like this. Right now, if I was going to try to sign a client, I have this bubble around me of how many people I can support. That bubble is created by how much service I've provided up until this point. If I serve people more, my bubble gets bigger and there's room for me to bring on additional people. So I got to make my service bubble bigger so that there's more room for people to hang with me. So you can go out and serve people first. And by doing that, it's kind of like you prepare the soil of your business. You prepare the soil to receive additional clients or customers by serving people first. So a great example of this, like what you're doing, Ricardo, you're serving people like a boss right now. You're giving people amazing information so that they can go out in the world and they can do great things from what they're learning from you and from the people that you're connecting them with. I love to serve people by sending out audios or videos of different concepts or principles that people could learn from in a minute or two. You could serve people if you feel like you don't know how to serve people in your business. The universe doesn't judge service. You can serve people food at a homeless shelter and you're serving people more than you have before you started that. So it's not just business related, but if you expand your service bubble, the universe sees that and wants to give you more. Does that make sense, Ricardo? Yes.
Yeah, totally. It totally makes sense. It's because when you start serving people, what you were saying, yeah, you are serving a lot of people right now. When you serve people, it starts reaching you back.
Yes,
absolutely. And as you say, I think that this can be used in any kind of business. This can be used, and not only in the business, but in your life. Like when you're asking something for someone, and the first thing you have to do is serve first.
Yeah, and serve selflessly. You know, just because you're giving something to someone directly doesn't mean that they become a client. Know that anytime you serve, like if you go to a homeless shelter and you're serving food, right? That goes into this invisible storehouse of riches that says she served more or he served more and therefore he's eligible to receive more or she's eligible to receive more. So it doesn't have to be a direct interaction between you and your potential client or customer. Just focus on serving people in the way that you can right now. Yes.
I think you said something really interesting right now. That is, focus on what can you be serving right now.
Yes, in every minute there's an opportunity to serve.
But I think that there's a lot of people that gets also stuck on that because they are like, okay, and what can I do? Because maybe I'm selling a tangible product And as you say, I'm not going to give it that way for free.
Mm-hmm.
But what can I do in that moment? So I get people interested, and I'm also serving them so they start becoming into clients.
Yes. Absolutely. Or the simplest act, let's say that you do sell a product, the simplest act of being a positive presence, whether or not they buy anything, being a presence of gratitude or enthusiasm about who they are in their day and saying, thanks for stopping at the store, thanks for stopping at the table. Same thing in a service-based business. To be a positive presence in people's lives, to compliment people, that in itself is a service. Or I love to look at one of the ways that I first started doing this when I first started my business, and I was like, how could I serve people? I literally, like, nobody knows my name. I have no access to any person who needs my help. And I used to go on people's social media channels and either follow them or like their pages. Because if you think about it, when you're first starting your business, it's a huge deal to get somebody to like your Facebook business page if nobody knows about you. So I used to just be like, I could serve people by giving them a little boost of confidence that people are watching what they're doing in the world today. It's the smallest bit of service creates the greatest result for you when you're getting started or when you're at the high end, whether you're going 6 figures to 7 figures, you can still serve people at the forefront. And in the question, I say, what can I do to serve 10 people directly? The reason I do this is because, or the reason I ask this is because a lot of entrepreneurs will look for ways to serve lots of people at one time. And that's amazing and phenomenal. However, it's important not only to serve a large number of people, but to serve them really well. And if you're blindly posting on social media or you're just throwing stuff out in the world and nobody's using it, you're not opening yourself up to receive anything because nobody's life changed because of that service. So it is a key to look for ways that you can serve people directly when you're going to serve. Now, the second question is, where am I already going and what can I do to connect with people there? Now, this is one of my favorite questions because entrepreneurs tend to think that there's this concept that if I get out of the house more and meet more people at networking events, my business is going to grow. I totally fell into this trap when I first started my business. I was going to like 4 networking events every single week. And my business wasn't growing and I wasn't signing clients and I was exhausted and I hated going to these networking events. And I'm not saying that networking events don't work. What I am saying is that the law of attraction states essentially this: you're a walking magnet for who you're being in the world. If I hate being where I'm being, I'm not attracting a whole lot of good stuff into my life. So if you're leaving the house and going to different things to grow your business that you hate going to, you're literally going to repel opportunities from you. However, if you're leaving your house and you're going to places you love to be, that make you feel alive, and you're surrounded by people you love to be around, you are, by the law of attraction standards, going to attract opportunities to you because you're being a person that attracts opportunities, a happy person, an excited person, a successful person. So you don't have to go to any specific place to meet people. All you need to do is identify the places that you're already going and assume that the universe has your clients or your customers hanging out there. So if you're going to yoga class every day at 3, what if your clients or customers are at your yoga class every day at 3? Wouldn't that be this crazy concept where you're like, it can be that easy? It's that easy. I don't have to add anything else to my schedule. If your clients or customers are exactly where you are, there are different ways that you can connect with them. Sometimes it's simply by being more aware when you're out of your house that your clients are everywhere you are. That's the first step. You can talk to them, you can hang out with people in a different way, you can connect with them in a bigger way if you assume your clients or customers are where you are. The other thing is, if you love to, for example, I love to go to the farmer's market. If I thought my clients were at the farmer's market, what could I do to connect with them in a bigger way there? Could I set up a table and give something away or sell CDs or audios? Or could I possibly hand out pamphlets? Is that a thing at the farmer's market, right? So if you thought your clients are where you love to be, how would you connect with people when you're there in a bigger way?
You said something that I think that is essential for this point at the beginning when you start talking about it, is to enjoy it.
Yes.
Because I've seen a lot of people that is going to these networking events, and at the end of the day, they go out feeling like they were losing their time because they were like, there were no one. Well, yeah, there was a lot of people, but they were not the correct fit for me. But they were in this negative vibe. They are feeling like no one is gonna talk to them, no one is gonna understand them, so they prefer not to talk with anybody, or if they go with another people, they only get into these groups and they don't start changing groups or talking with other people. Yeah, exactly.
Hanging out with your people. Yeah.
It's like, how can you start making this network if you don't try to expand yourself and if you don't enjoy doing it?
You know, somehow this is the craziest thing to me. We got this rumor somehow spread that entrepreneurship is like really boring and hard, and it's the worst rumor of all time. I'm a huge believer that entrepreneurship, the reason we got into it, most of us, is to have more fun and love our lives more. Why are we making it miserable on ourselves? We're literally our own bosses, and we're making our lives harder and less fun. Why would we do that? So it's not just about where you're going, but it's also absolutely about who are you hanging out with when you're there. Do you actually love the people? And do you actually love where you are? If you are, you're naturally going to attract people in those places. And when you're set up in a professional way, whether it's a booth at the farmer's market or whatever it is that you set up in your space, if it's that you're going to yoga every day at 3, well, would that yoga teacher maybe do a workshop alongside you or sell your product after class for a commission? If your clients or your customers are there, why not start asking questions about how you can serve them there? If you love to be there, your presence is going to be a positive influence on their lives, and they're going to want to do business with you every time, every time.
Now I see why this one was your favorite question of the podcast.
It's my fave because it introduces me to great people all the time, Ricardo.
Yeah, that's how I met you.
Yes.
That's how we met. We were at this amazing event, 700 people. She was right on the stage, and at the moment that she goes down, I came to her and I started talking with her because she had these amazing kind of ideas of to connect with other people and to share with entrepreneurs, and that's why you have her here, because you see, she's an amazing.
Well, and that's a great point. One of the places I love to go is conferences. I'm so happy when I'm there. Oh, I feel alive there. And this is why it's unique to everyone. Some people don't like conferences. Where do you love to be? And if your clients were there, how would you connect with people while you're in that space? That's why it's unique to every person. Go where you love to be and assume your clients and customers are there and connect with people with that assumption. I swear your business will change. This alone will change your business.
Exactly, and that's the important thing. You don't have to change the environment, you have to change your focus.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
Great.
So the third question is, who am I thinking about, and am I willing to find out why? Now, this is fascinating to me. From the moment that you set an intention, in this case, to sign a client or sell additional product, from the moment you set that intention until that intention becomes your reality, everything in between is the universe is serving you to help you accomplish it, to close the gap. That means different thoughts that you're having or different interests that you're having at that time, different opportunities that drop in between the moment you have the desire to sign a client or sign a customer or sell to a customer until it becomes your reality. Everything in between is helping you to do that in the fastest way possible. So a lot of the times what we'll have is thoughts about certain people that are super random, whether it's like we went to high school with them 15 years ago, or we met them at a networking event 2 months ago, or we just for some reason thought about this random cafe down the street and we have no idea why. If you believe that the universe was on your side, dropping little nuggets, just saying, this person, this place, do this thing. If you believed it was on your side, helping you to accomplish your goal in a shorter amount of time than you could ever possibly imagine, wouldn't you follow the breadcrumb, make the phone call, send the email, connect with that person, or do that thing? Like, absolutely, we would. Now, it doesn't always mean that the person you're thinking about is a potential client. I look at this question like a trail of breadcrumbs. For example, sometimes I think about my dad. I'm not trying to sign my dad as a client. He's really cool, but he's not going to pay for my services. It's just not a thing, right? Sometimes I'm thinking about my dad. Well, assuming that for some reason I need to talk with my dad to accomplish or hear the next breadcrumb or align my energy with excitement or love or whatever it is so that I can attract an opportunity, I'm going to call my dad and just say, I've been thinking about you. Not sure why, but wanted to call and say hello. What's going on in your world? Sometimes you might think about a person you met at a networking event or you met at a conference or whatever it is, and you say the same thing. For some reason, I was thinking about you, and I just wanted to call and see how you're doing and check in. The reality is you don't know why you're thinking about that person, but I promise you 75% of the time, what happens is the other person on the other side of that phone call will say something along the lines of, I was just thinking about you. I need exactly what you offer, and I didn't have your phone number. I'm so glad you called me. And you have a conversation about what you offer in the world, your product or your service. Most of the time, that's what happens. This is an intuitive faculty, however, that you have to exercise and work out. So when you first start to get messages about who to call or where to go or whatever it is that you're getting a message on to follow up on, it might not be that you get a whole bunch of client opportunities out of it. Still follow the breadcrumb. Every time you follow this little voice that says call so-and-so or go see so-and-so, every time you follow that voice, your intuition gets a little bit stronger. You're saying to the universe, I trust you to give me the knowledge that I need to grow my business. I'm going to make this phone call even though I don't know why, and I'm going to figure out why you led me to talk to this person. So most of the time, it will make sense once you've made the call. If you try to make sense of it before you make the call, you'll never make the call. So let the universe help guide you in making phone calls, going to certain places. One of the biggest ones for a lot of my private clients is they feel inspired to take a vacation. And they resist it. They resist it forever. They're like, no, I can't because I have to do all this work. What if the universe, not saying we should vacation all the time unless you want to, which I'm a huge fan of and I do on a regular basis, if you desire to vacation all the time, not saying you're always going to get a feeling to vacation, but what if vacationing or taking that trip with your family or getting out of the house for the whole day was the universe's call to you, saying that's where your client or customer is going to be. So get out of your house and go enjoy your life and meet your client or customer. We think that it's behind our computer or that it's some structure. I have to do this step and this step and this step. And quantum leaps, we remove the amount of time between when we set the intention to grow our business and when it actually grows to the extent we want it to. We downsize that amount of time by listening to our intuitive voice that tells us where to go and who to call. Does that make sense, Ricardo?
That makes a lot of sense.
Awesome.
But there's a lot of people that I think that can get lost here between the voice of the intuition and the voice of fear.
Yes.
Because you have on one side this voice that is telling you, go for it. Right? Call this person, go on that vacation, go on that trip, go to this network event, start selling your services. But there's this another voice of fear that a lot of people can get confused of, that is telling you, stay at home, stay safe.
Yeah.
Don't call anyone because you can get hurt.
Yeah.
They can reject you.
Yeah.
So how can people start understanding the difference between the voice of the fear and the voice of the intuition? I know that this is a really big topic that can take us like a lot of hours.
Question. Yeah.
But on the surface, how can the people get a little bit of distinction between these two?
So that's an amazing question. And here's what I teach and encourage my clients to do. I deeply believe that it's not about the actions that you take, but about the statements that you make by taking certain actions. What I mean by that is, Ricardo, you and I could have the same to-do list today, and we could go through that to-do list, and you would have different results than I would. Why in the world would that be? Like, how is that possible? If we're doing the same things, wouldn't we get the same results? No, because that's not how it works at all. Here's how it works. Ricardo's task list and Amanda's task list, on those lists, we might have all the same things that we could do. But there's certain things on that list, Ricardo, that scare you a little bit. Because you know that if you were to do them, you would take a really big step towards the realization of your life's dream, right? Like if let's say that yours is making a certain phone call to a certain CEO that you really, would love to do a workshop for. That one on your list is like, that one scares me. I don't want to do that one, right? I could have that same thing on my list, and that one might not scare me. I'm like, meh, I'll call him. Not a big deal. I know I could do that workshop. But there might be another thing on my list. It might be taking a vacation. And that one might scare the crap out of me. Because I feel like if I leave my computer, stuff is going to just fall apart, and there's no way I could take a vacation. There's no way, right? There's certain things on your list, and there's certain things on my list that scare us. I encourage my clients to make the biggest statement a top priority every single day. That means the first thing they do before they take any other action for the day is the thing on their list, on what I call a could-do list. They're not things you have to do. They're things you could do today. The thing on your could-do list that makes the biggest statement for you, that says, universe, I am serious about the life that I want. I am serious that it's possible for me, and I'm serious that I trust you to help me accomplish it. That thing that you could do every day should always be number one, because it's the thing that fear is going to talk you out of the longer you go throughout your day not doing it. When you wake up in the morning and you're ready to get started working, go for the thing that's the most challenging for you, that makes the biggest statement that you believe your life is possible and says that I'm courageous and I'm going to go for it. Do that one first. Because the further away you get throughout your day, if you get to 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, you're definitely not going to make that statement, because fear is going to scream louder as the day goes on.
Okay, now I think that's really clear. I love the way you explained it.
Yeah. And it's amazing how that happens, because it's true. Everyone wants to know exactly what do I have to do today to sign a client? Well, I don't know. What are all the things you could do today to sign a client? And which one scares you? Because the one that scares you is probably the one you need to do to sign a client today. And
it's a one that I think 90% of the entrepreneurs avoid the most.
I would say 99%.
Well, yeah.
The entrepreneurs avoid.
Yeah, actually, almost 100%. Yeah, I think we can all be related with that.
Yeah, and this is what I help people to grow businesses unbelievably fast in very short amounts of time, working very few hours. And the reason that people can do that is because typically, if you spend time doing the things that really help you to grow your business, you only work about an hour a day. And then you realize you spend a whole lot of time being extremely busy on little tiny tasks that really don't get you anywhere. So you can really grow a successful business in a short amount of time if you really just do the things that are going to help you to accomplish and realize your dream fastest.
Yeah, I think that also a lot of people can, well, I think all the people can feel also related with that. When we're doing the list, we are more occupied than ever.
Yes.
And when we're really focused, we can work a little amount of time with great results.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And not only that, but if you're really only doing the things that help you to grow your business quickly without all the busyness, without all the extra stuff, if you're really only doing those things, I look at it like this. You spend 2% of your time working, and 98% of your time you spend recovering, because you're scared most of the time. You're like, oh my gosh, my life is changing so fast. This is amazing, and I don't know what to do. When you really are just spending time doing the things that actually help you to grow your business, you're spending a lot of time recovering, having fun, enjoying your life, and actually like going through growth spurts like a small child would. You sleep more. You tend to need a little more healing, a few more massages, right? Because you need a lot of time off to heal, recover, and keep growing that fast.
And
all right,
let the people do that. Well, let's move to the next question.
Yes, I could go to town on this topic, Ricardo.
Yeah, I know.
I want to give you the next question though. So the next question 5, is
Question 4.
I jumped to question 4.
Yeah.
What groups do I love to be a part of, and what are they doing that I can participate with? So again, people tend to assume that networking groups are the place for them to go to grow their business. But we forget, again, that if you don't like going there, you're not attracting client opportunities while you're there. So I encourage people to come up with unique ideas to meet new people in groups. You might love to be a part of a church group. You might love to be a part of a friends group. You might love your family like it's nobody's business. You might love a specific networking group. If you were to spend time doing what those groups are doing, get to know those people better than you know anybody else, and really love your time there, what happens is these people become your advocates and almost your sales team. They're such a big fan of who you are and what you do in the world that they literally become walking salespeople for what you do. They tell people about you. They send people your way. Because you love being there, you're most like yourself when you're there. And quite frankly, I think if you love being yourself, you're probably pretty awesome, because like entrepreneurs who love themselves, they obviously stand out. So go where you love to be and spend more time with those people. If you love to be a part of a church group, are you going there consistently, or do you just feel like you're too busy to go there? Take the other things off your schedule you don't like to do and go to those church group meetings. If you love a friends group, why not invite them over for wine or for appetizer night and ask them to bring a couple people you don't know. If you love hanging out with them, there's a good chance there's more people in their circles that you love to be around. So again, finding unique ways to, if you feel like an introvert, hang out with people in your own unique way. If you feel like an extrovert, hang out with people in your own unique way. Spend more time with people you love. Now, the next and final question is, who do I know who already needs my help? What can I do to be completely transparent with them about my ability to help them? This question terrifies most of my clients. So fair warning, everybody, stick with us. I promise to get us through this. Most entrepreneurs have a list of approximately 5 people that they've met in previous situations, that they've had previous connections to, that call them consistently for the help that actually their business provides help for. Most entrepreneurs have a list of at least 5 people that they're avoiding asking to invest in their product or service. They have a story about it. Well, I've been giving it to them for free for so long. Or, well, I met them at a networking event and then we went to lunch and now it's awkward. Now it's kind of like we're just going to lunch all the time. Or, well, now we kind of become friends. Or, well, whatever. All these stories. The universe or God, the law, whatever you want to call it, will not bring you new opportunities until you've acted on the ones you currently have. So if you took it serious that the universe has helped you to identify client or customer opportunities with the sources that you have right now, and you believed that you wouldn't get new opportunities until you act on these ones, would you act on them? I hope so. Most people probably would. Instead, we're kind of hanging out going, oh, well, I can just avoid the fact that I know I can help that person, and I'll just try to find somebody else and keep giving them the thing for free. Stop giving your stuff away for free. And call them. And sometimes people feel uncomfortable at the first conversation. So I want to give you a little guidance around that. Say something as simple as, I have been thinking about the fact that I know I can help you, and I feel like I haven't served you completely because I'm kind of dancing around the topic. Are you open to having a conversation about us working together or becoming, a business and customer instead of the way that we've been doing it up until this point? Ask permission before you dive into business mode. Ask permission if they're even open to having the conversation. Because the reality is, these people need your help. These people need your help. That's why they're in your surroundings. So if you believe that, let's act on it. Let's accept the opportunities. Like Ricardo said in my bio, I believe if you're not making money, you're not making an impact. And so if you're not asking for payment for what you're offering these people, you're not truly impacting their lives in the way that they could be impacted.
And there's a lot of people that can get lost in there because they are like, yeah, but I'm helping them. Yep. But they're not helping themselves.
So here's why I love money. Here is why I love money, Ricardo. And Bob Proctor, actually, he has a quote about this, and I'm not going to quote him directly, but I want to give him credit. He says something to the effect of, I measure money not because money is important, but because things like relationships and health and service are sometimes hard to gauge, and money never lies. If your money is growing, it means your service is growing. What that means is every time your income grows, it's a reflection that you're serving more people and you're serving them better than ever. That's exciting. That's a gauge for you to know, oh my gosh, I'm serving more people than ever before and I'm serving them better than I've ever served people. This is amazing. It's a reflection of how well you've served people. If you are in a relationship with someone who's not paying you for your service, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but you're not really serving them because you're not bringing in money, which requires an investment on their part in the change, whether that's a product that's changing their life or a service that's changing their life. If you're giving them something and you're not requiring an investment, they're not fully invested in the change. That is where you have to put your foot down as a business owner and say, that's not okay with me because I'm on the world to serve people. And if I'm not making money, I'm not serving anybody.
Oh, that's profound.
Yes, that's why I love money. That is why I love money.
Yeah, because it shows that you're changing a lot, that you're growing. Yeah. It
shows if you're every single month, if you're staying on the consistent amount of money that you made last month, and the previous month, and the previous month, it means that you're serving people to the same extent. If your money's going up every single month, it means you're serving people every month better than you've ever served them before. And that is a key indicator that you're doing the right thing in the world.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
And tell us, what are some things that show up on your answers to the client-generating questions?
Oh, yeah. So I answer these questions every Monday, and then I act on at least 3 throughout the week.
Oh, so you have to do it repeatedly. It's not just I do it once and then I see what happens.
You can do it once. However, here's the thing. We change as business owners and our interests change, and serving people should always be exciting. Signing clients and selling to new customers should always be an exciting experience. Yeah. Sales is service. If you're not excited to do it, you're not serving anyone. So I do these every single Monday. Some of the things that consistently show up on my list. I actually love to do this kind of like sneak behind the scenes thing for my people. So people who, for example, are on my newsletter list, I will reach out to 10 to 30 of them privately, and I'll say, hey, I'm going to do a secret webinar only you get access to, or I'm going to do a secret virtual class only you get access to. I've selected 10 of you and 10 of you only. It happens Wednesday at noon. Super exciting. Here's the topic, and it's privately for you. Are you in? I'll do the same thing for people. I have a Facebook group that I run. I'll do the same thing for 10 private Facebook people. I'll just message people randomly and I'll say, I'm just going to serve 10 people with this awesome content. I'm not going to tell anybody else about it. Are you interested in? Are you in? So I love to do behind the scenes stuff when I'm serving people. Additionally, where I love to go and how I love to serve people, I said one of them earlier, I love the farmer's market. I love the farmer's market like it's nobody's business. So I've set up farmer's market tables and actually signed people up to talk with me for free calls before, or handed out different pamphlets about what I do in the world, or sold audio CDs right at a table at the farmer's market before. I also love yoga. There's certain yoga studios that I absolutely love. At those yoga studios, I consistently go to the front desk and I say, I absolutely love your yoga studio, and this is what I do in the world. Can we do a workshop together, like a yoga/business money-making workshop? I think that'd be really fun. Are you guys interested? So I'm always looking for places that I love to be and asking them how I can serve them in a business sense. In addition to that, I always challenge myself to answer questions. Question number 5. Who do I know who already needs my help, and what can I do to be transparent with them? Even for me, there is always at least one person on that list every single week. And I make sure to act on that one every single time. And almost every time, that's the client I'll sign that week.
I think I'm going to get in your list. I'm going to be part of that question number 5.
I'll start writing it down, Ricardo. Don't worry. I'll call you next week.
Yeah, I know. And tell me, are there a few client-generating activities that always work for finding clients? Because there's a lot of people that can say, yeah, but maybe for my business, I don't know if it's a perfect fit, and maybe they are wondering if it would work. If there is something that always works.
Yes, I would say that if you can get in front of people in any way, shape, or form, if you can get in front of a group of people and somehow have that be that you're the business expert, whether you service, whether you sell a product or you offer a service in the world, those activities typically work every time. So there's a couple different ways you can do this though. For those people who feel like they don't have enough people to serve, or they don't have, when I first started my business, I was calling churches and networking groups, and nobody was calling me back. Nobody wanted me to come speak for them at first. So what I would do is I literally called 5 of my best friends and family members, and I would say, listen, I really want to get used to speaking my message in the world. Will you come over for dinner? I'll make you dinner, and I want to do a workshop in my house. It put me in front of people and got me used to speaking my message. In addition to that, some of those friends and family members were interested in signing up for my service, or they became great advocates for what I do in the world because they got to know it a little bit better. If you're on the other end and you feel super comfortable, you have a lot of people you could have access to do workshops or sell products at big events, anything where you are physically in front of people is a key right now. If you think about it, we live in a very electronic world, which is amazing and I love, because we get to do things like this and we live in totally different places. But you get to know somebody very fast, like Ricardo and I met in person. So our connection is different than if we were just virtual friends. So if you can get in front of people, it helps people to get to know you better. Anything that has to do with you being in front of people for a business purpose, where you're ideally the expert, tends to work every single time to sell product or sell your service.
Yeah, and as you say, I think that works for everyone and every time. Because maybe one can say, yeah, I sell soups. Right? How can I get people in front? Yeah, you can tell the people that you know, like really close friends or family members, and tell them, you know what? Sit down, I'm going to talk to you about that.
Yeah, let's do a tester party so you can feel it on your skin, and let's do that. Absolutely.
Yeah, it can work in any single environment, even though you are selling services, you are selling products. And from that, you can get feedback about what are they feeling about you, and you can feel more confident, right?
Absolutely. I think that's so important. And again, this is where fear tends to show up for people, and they get really uncomfortable inviting people to their house or calling and seeing, feeling like they're not ready to a workshop. And my challenge to you would be this. I have been known to be quite the ruthless entrepreneur, and it's not in a bad way. What people often mean by that is that you and I are here to make a true difference in the world. a true difference in the world. And there's not a whole lot of time to waste. The only way you're going to get better at making a difference in the world is by trying in really big ways. So make the phone call to the 5 friends, or make the phone call to the big CEO, or make the phone call to the big workshop thing that you could do, or the big conference you could speak at, or to the farmer's market where you could sell your product. Make the phone call. Because if there are people, if you have the desire to help people in a certain way, then those people are available right now. That call to serve more people, that call to make more money is an echo from the universe saying the people need you now. So don't waste time. Get started now. Get comfortable with your message, or get comfortable talking about your product, so that when people start to pour in, you are totally comfortable with that process.
So all the people that is listening to us right now, you should start thinking about, who should I call?
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
Like, start doing the list. Who's the first person in the list? I remember myself when I started in this 5 years ago, I was so afraid about calling people. And yeah, I was making the calls. But as Amanda said at the beginning of this conference, I was so afraid. I was thinking already the rejection.
Yeah.
I remember myself calling them, thinking in the rejection. And maybe I can schedule something with them, and when I get in their office or something, I know. I was thinking they're gonna reject me. And you can imagine what happened there. I was getting rejected every single time, because I'm gonna get rejected. I'm not gonna get the job. They're not gonna buy. I'm not good enough. And I was thinking all this kind of stuff that really doesn't work for entrepreneur.
Yeah.
In the moment that I start changing, as Amanda was saying, you have to love it. You have to love yourself. You have to love what you are doing. And selling is serving. In the moment that I start changing my idea, that I was not selling and being like pushy, but I was serving the people. In that moment, my business started growing, as you were saying, because I started believing in myself.
That's
so
amazing.
I think that what you are telling here right now about making this phone call and attracting the clients that you really want, and feeling like you're already selling them.
Yeah.
They are your clients. That changed everything.
Awesome. I'm so happy to hear that. And with that too, you know, one of the things a lot of the times that people struggle with is how to overcome that voice of this isn't going to work, this isn't going to work, they're just going to reject me, da, da, da. What I started to create for myself, because I had a really hard time changing that thought, I created the sentence that I give to all of my clients to say when they're having those thoughts. And it's, you might slow me down, but you will not stop me. Speaking to that part of you that doesn't believe you can do it. Sometimes you can't just completely believe something opposite. Sometimes that seems impossible, and sometimes that shuts you down or paralyzes you from taking any action whatsoever. But if you could believe that it might slow you down a little bit, it might make you make fewer phone calls, it might slow down the process a little bit more, but it's not going to stop you because you're not going to stop. Just that small entry point, just like Ricardo's talking about, just believing a little bit that you're serving people and not selling them to be mean or not selling them to be manipulative, but truly because your service, your product is actually serving people, right? Miraculous thought, craziness how we're actually serving people with this stuff, right? If you actually believe that, it's going to transform the way those phone calls go. Absolutely.
Yeah, I love that phrase.
Yes.
So how can the people contact you?
So you can find me at amandaloveland.com, and I have some really awesome gifts hanging out there on the website for you that you can check out too.
Okay, so go into Amanda's webpage. You're gonna see it right here in the chat in your right side. Go there, sign up. What are they gonna get when they sign up with you?
So they'll actually receive a full guide of the 5 questions with a little bit of guidance from me that walks them through what I mean by each question to help them answer it. And I'll throw in a bonus. They can get my ebook, 7 Steps to Genuine Sales, as well.
Okay, I want that ebook because I only have the questions.
Yes, I will absolutely throw in the ebook too.
Oh, thank you very much. So now you know, get into amandaloveland.com. Well, you're gonna see it right here. Thank you very much, and sign up there. You're gonna love all the stuff that she's gonna handle for you, and you're gonna continue learning so much about her. Because as you can see, she have a lot of stuff that you can be learning. She have a lot of content, a really good content. That's why she is here. We told you at the beginning of this event, we are looking for the best people so you can learn from them, because we love learning from them, and that's why we are connecting them for bringing to you. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you very much for being here.
Ricardo. You rock. Your people rock. Thank you.
Thank you very much.